Welcome everyone to chair yoga. Today we are going to be using a yoga strap, or if you have a belt, that will be fine too. So just grab your strap, put it to the side for right now, and then sitting comfortably in your chair, we'll just take a few moments to prepare for our practice. So extending the feet a little bit out in front, hands resting in the lap, and then go ahead and close your eyes or just drop the gaze. And turning the attention inward. As you just notice how your body feels, noting any areas of tension or tightness. And then taking 2 deep cleansing breaths. So take a nice big inhale through the nose. And exhale it all out by blowing or sighing it out. And one more nice big inhale. And exhale it all out. And then soften the muscles of the face. Relax the muscles of the neck and the shoulders. And then turn the attention to the breath. Notice the inhale. And notice the exhale. And then we'll begin a nice, even breathing, inhaling and exhaling to a count of 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And just continue this nice, even breathing. If you become a little lightheaded or dizzy, just go back to your own normal breathing pattern. And then we also set an intention for each practice to help remind us why we are here. So that may be a benefit you would like to receive, or just an uplifting or a positive thought or phrase. So think of an intention that you'd like to have for your practice today. And then with your next inhale, go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. And then we'll go ahead and begin the warm-up by turning our heads to look out over that right shoulder. Now, we're going to do a little fascia release. The fascia is the connective tissue that runs from the sole of the feet all the way up and crosses over the skull. So when you turn to look out over that right shoulder, I want you to just make a note as to how far you've turned your head. Just find like a little gazing point. Then come back to center. Take your right hand. You're going to come up to your ear. And you're going to start by massaging this right ear. I know this sounds kind of strange, but just start by rubbing the ear, maybe even tugging it a little bit, and then work your way down your ear as you continue this kind of massaging, rubbing, pulling a little bit, get to the earlobe, same thing. Good. You're just going to do this for a couple seconds. Good. Then release and turn your head back to the right and see if you can't turn your head a little farther. Good. And then come back to center and we're going to try it on the left. So just turn, look to the right, kind of make that note as to how far your head is turned. Come back to center. Same thing, taking that left hand, start at the top of the ear. I'm just massaging, gently tugging, pulling a little bit all around, and then work your way down to the middle part of the ear. Just this gentle rubbing or massaging down to the earlobe. Same thing. Good. Just all over the ear. And then as you release, turn your head to the left, and again, see if you can turn your head a little farther. So you just did what's called a fascia release. Again, that connective tissue, it's like a netting that goes all over the muscles. So a lot of times if you're stiff, it's not so much the muscles, it could be that connective tissue or that fascia. So we're going to kind of focus on that today and do some fascia stretching in other parts of the body. All right, go ahead and drop your chin down to the chest. And then picking the chin up towards the ceiling, jutting that lower jaw out. And coming back to center, dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. And back to center, and left ear to left shoulder. And back to center, extending the hands out in front, open and close the fingers. And then some wrist circles. And reverse. And then we're going to do a little wrist swing. So sitting up, maybe taking a couple of little hip walks to the middle of the chair, widening your knees a little bit, bring your hands down, and then having the palms facing one another, pick up the left wrist, cross it over the right. Your palms are still facing up. Then rotate your palms so the thumbs are pointing down, and the palms are facing each other, and you can clasp your hands. And then from here, just very gently do this little wrist swing. Just moving the wrist back and forth. There shouldn't be any pain or discomfort here, so just back off or stop immediately if you feel anything. Good. And then come back to center, release, shake it out. We're going to try it on the other side. So just cross the right wrist over the left, rotate the hands so that the palms are facing each other. Your thumbs are pointing down towards the floor. Clasp the hands, so you'll notice the other wrist is on top here. As you just do this very gentle little wrist swing. Just working on the range of motion. Good. Come back to center, release, shake it out. You can walk your feet in a little bit. And then taking your hands, bringing them out to the side, we're going to do what's called finger digs, because we're going to pretend we're digging a hole. So start with that index finger. Imagine you're going to plant a seed. So you're going to dig, dig, dig. Then the middle finger, also a good fine motor exercise, you'll notice as we go along. And then the ring finger, getting a little harder, and your pinkies. Good. Now it's a little hard to do the thumbs. I usually just do some circles here, just kind of warm up the thumb joints. Good. And then shake it out. And then still sitting midway in the chair, keeping the back nice and tall, we'll do some shrugs. Good. And then next time you pick the shoulders up, roll them to the back. Good. Bringing the shoulders down, we're going to do a little fascia stretch now for in the shoulders. So let's start with the right arm. So you're going to bring the right arm across the body, make a loose fist, and then sweep the arm up like you're extending a big rainbow here. And as you do that, extend the fingers. So you're going to open up the fist. Bring that right arm around behind you as much as you can. Press the palm away from you, and then turn and look to the left. So you're stretching through the palm into the forearm, up the shoulder. Good. Now we're going to bring it back to the start. So you're going to bring each finger back into your fist and sweep it back and across. Good. Let's try it on the other side. So just making a loose fist as you sweep that arm up, and then begin to extend those fingers one at a time. So your palm is open as it reaches behind you. Hopefully you don't have a plant in your way. And then pressing through the palm, turn and look to the right. Good. Get a nice stretch there. And then turning the head back to center, go ahead and bring the fingers back in, sweep that arm back and around. Good. Come back to sitting nice and tall. This time we'll bring the arms alongside the body. Another loose fist, so just making loose fists. You're going to turn the palms so they're facing behind you. Your thumbs are facing down towards the floor as you lift the arms to shoulder height and then back down. Good. Let's do a couple more. Good, and one more. Good, and then return those arms down, shake it all out. Good, you may want to take a couple steps back as you extend that right leg, and then point and flex the foot. And then some ankle circles. And reverse. Good. Bring that right foot in, and same thing with the left. Point and flex. And ankle circles. And reverse. Good. And then sitting up nice and tall, come back to the right leg and pick the right foot up just a little bit off the floor so you can extend the leg. Then bring the heel down and slowly slide that foot back in. So you're going to pick it up, extend, bring the leg down, slide it back in. Good. Let's do 2 more. Good, last one. Good. Switch. Left leg, just pick it up so you can extend. Good. Slide it back in. Good. 2 more. Good. And last one. Good. And then we'll take the right foot, cross it over the left, and then we're going to do that shin slide. So you're just going to slide that right foot or right ankle up and down the left shin. And if you want to kind of reposition that left foot, you may want to step it out a little bit. Go ahead and do that. Good. 2 more. Good. And then we'll try it on the other side. So left foot crosses the right ankle, and then you're going to slide that left foot up and down. You can probably hear my pants. Material sliding here. Good. Once more. Good. And then go ahead and uncross. Come back to sitting nice and tall. Bring the right arm alongside the body. You can hold on to the seat of the chair if you'd like. Inhale, extend that left arm, and exhale, bend to the right. And then releasing back to center, switch arms, inhale, and exhale to the left. Good. Release back to center. And then coming into a twist, we'll place the left hand on the right knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, turn and look to the right. And then releasing back to center, switch hands. Inhale, and to exhale, turn and look to the left. Good, and then releasing back to center. And then we'll come into a warm-up of cat-cow. So placing the hands on the thighs, you'll eliminate the cat, which is the rounding part of the spine if you do have osteoporosis. Just keep the spine in neutral. All right, so with an inhale, we'll come into cow. So we'll lift the chin and chest, arching the spine. And then with the exhale, either coming into cat, so rounding, dropping the chin, or just keeping the spine in neutral. And then inhale, back to cow. Exhale into neutral or cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, neutral or cat. And last time, inhale and exhale. Good. And then bringing the spine back to neutral. So we're going to, before we come up to standing, we're going to do a pose in the chair called gate pose. So you'll want to walk your hips up to the edge of the chair. And we'll keep the left knee bent, and you want to keep the knee just facing forward. You want to lean over to the left so you can extend the right leg out, then bring your weight back to center. And you may want to shift your hips over to the right because you want to extend that right leg out. Keep your knee and the foot facing forward. Try to have your toes in line with one another. And then the right hand's just going to rest on that right thigh. And then with an inhale, we'll come back to sweeping that left arm up. And then with your exhale, we're going to bend to the right. And continue to breathe. So you're getting a nice long stretch on that left side. Good, and then coming back to center, release that left arm. We're going to shift everything over to the left. So bring that right foot in. Again, shift the hips to the left side of the chair so you can extend that left leg. Keep the left foot facing forward. The knee will be facing forward too. So in other words, you haven't rotated that leg, externally rotated it or anything. You're just keeping the foot. It's hard to tell in the camera, but I've got my right knee and left toes in line with one another. And then my left hand's just resting on the left thigh. Inhale, extend that right arm, and then exhale. Nice side bend here to the left. And continue to breathe, coming back to your nice, even breathing. Good, and then releasing back to center. Go ahead and bend that left knee, just walk that foot in as you come back to center. And then walking up to the edge of the chair so that you can come up to standing. All right, if you have your water nearby, go ahead and grab a drink. All right. And coming around behind the chair, I talked about the fascia. We did some fascia stretching. We're going to be doing some more as we're standing. First of all, though, we want to come into Tadasana. So finding those four corners of the feet, keeping the legs about hip width apart, tighten at the front of the thighs, lift and tighten the abdominals, lengthening up from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Good. Picking those shoulders up. Rolling them down the back as you lift the chest. Good, and gazing forward. Coming back to your nice, even breathing. And then we're going to start by doing a movement called climbing the rope. So you're going to extend one arm up. Imagine you're grabbing a rope and you're going to pull yourself up the rope. So it's a nice shoulder stretch here. Good. And again, remember that side of the body that you just stretched in gate pose. Couple more. Ooh, that was my elbow. Sometimes you hear that cracking and popping. Good. All right. Bring that arm down. So now behind the chair, we're going to come into downward facing dog. So this is a great stretch, again, for in here, the shoulder into the back. So keeping the hands on the chair, walking the legs back, extend through the arms. And then you'll feel that into the armpits, the shoulders, bending the knees as you drop the chest down, bringing the head alongside the arms. The bend in the knees will help to keep your back straight. And depending on your hamstring flexibility, then keep a little bend in the knee. If you're a little more flexible, then possibly starting to straighten the legs. But again, without rounding that low back, just keep a bend in the knee, then keep the back straight. Good, and continue to breathe. Good. And then to come out of the pose, come back to the bended knees, walking forward, and coming back up. All right, so for the next thing we're going to do, we're going to be coming up on the balls of the feet. So we'll come back into Tadasana, keep the chair nearby, and keeping a hand on the chair, then we'll just reach the other arm up towards the ceiling. You can try it with both arms if you feel okay here too. All right, here we go. So you're keeping one hand on the chair, lifting the other. Good. And coming down. So we're going to try 3 here, keeping the ankles straight. Good. Then we're going to hit a couple of different muscles. So now what I want you to do is turn your toes out and then come up. Do 3 here. Good. Tighten your calf muscles as you come up. That will help give you some stability. Good. And then the next 3, you got it. We're going to turn the toes in and come up. I don't know why that one seems a little harder, but it does. All right, here we go. Good, last one. Good. All right, bring those feet back to center. Just walk it out a little bit. And then we're going to do a little balance, and then we're going to try to throw us off of our center. So we're going to start in tree pose. So I'm going to move my chair over here to the other side. And we want to start by shifting the weight into the left leg. Then we'll bend the right knee. Remember, you're going to take it out on the diagonal. And bring the right foot over so that it's on the outside of the calf. Forgot what part of the body that was. Keep your left hand on the chair. Now, you want to balance here for a second. And you're going to have that foot off the floor for a reason. We're going to put a little motion into this. So you're going to now extend that right leg. Put your weight on it. Now, push off from your right leg and see if you can bring it back to resting on that outside of the calf. You can let go of the chair if you want. Just kind of keep your fingers there. The key is here, controlling that push off. So this is called falling tree. Good. And as far as your hands, whatever helps you with your balance here, I think just keeping them out to the side for me helps the best. So just try this a couple of times, shifting that weight onto the right leg. And then as you push off, so the key is don't push off too hard. Good. All right, let's try it on the other side. All right, so weight is in the right leg. Bring that left foot up. Again, you bent the knee, took it out on the diagonal. Good, let's just pause here for a minute in tree. And then if you need to keep a hand on the chair, go ahead and do that. If not, see if you can do this. This is my stronger side. So one side is going to, you're just going to have better balance. Good. Let's do a couple more. See, that was too much. Good to have that chair there. Good. And hopefully you've had your eyes on your gazing point too. All right, go ahead and shake it out, walk it out. Good. All right, so now we're going to focus a little bit more on the hips. We warmed up a little bit here with tree, keeping that leg out to the side. So again, standing behind the chair, we'll start by shifting the weight to the left leg. And move this over here just so you can see what I'm doing. And we'll start with just a nice, easy leg lift. So lifting and lowering that right leg. Notice you'll feel that here in the glutes. Good. Now, as you lift, we're then going to cross it behind us and bend that left knee like you're taking a bow. And then come back up, lift that leg out, and what we call a curtsy lunge. Good. And you're holding on to the chair here. You don't have to try to balance. Good. Let's do one more. Good. All right, let's try it on the other side. So weight goes in the right leg. Stand up nice and tall, and just a nice easy lift and lower here. This is warming up the glutes. Good. And then we'll try a curtsy lunge here on this side. So extend and bring it behind as you bow, or woman's side is a curtsy. Good, let's do two more. Good. And then coming back up, walk that out. Good. All right, continuing to warm up the hips, standing behind the chair, we're going to come into some squats or goddess pose. So you'll want to come into that wide stance and then turn your toes out about 45 degrees. Now, when you squat, you want to keep your knees in line with your toes. So if you want to do like a half squat and then position your toes so when the knees come down, they're in line with the toes. And remember to not come forward, but just think of dropping the hips so your chest stays lifted. Keep your hands on the chair. Inhale and then exhale. Come on down and back up. Good. Just do as far as you can. Again, you're building strength, working that fascia. We'll be doing some more stretching when we sit. Good. Think you can do two more? Let's try it. Good. All right. Come on back up. Turn those feet in, walk it in. And then the last thing that we're going to do for the hips, and then we'll do a little release for them. We're going to come into half moon pose, but we're going to use the chair. So we'll put the weight into the right leg. You're going to extend the left toes out to the side. You're going to put your left hand on the chair because your right arm is going to come up. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to lean to the right and see if you can lift that left leg up. If you want, you can bring both arms up and balance here. If not, just keep that left hand on the chair. All right, so I'm at the angle here just so my chair doesn't block the view, but you're going to be straight behind the chair. All right, here we go. Shift the weight to the right, left toes out, right arm up. You don't have to lift that left foot real high. Find your gazing point. And you're really going to feel that in those glutes. It's a great way to strengthen the glutes. Good, keep breathing. And then exhale, go ahead and come down, walk it out. And that's a hard one, so make sure you're holding on. Just do what you can, hold it for as long as you can. All right, try it on the other side. Weights in the left leg, right toes out, right hand on the chair, left hand up. And then leaning a little bit to the left so that you pick up the right foot. If you want to let go and balance, and try that. Good. Tighten the quad of that left leg. That'll give you some more stability too. Good. And then exhale, bring the arms down, bring that right leg down, walk it out. So from here, we're going to do a little low back hip release. So having your feet about hip width apart, we'll do some hip circles. So just placing the hands on the hips and maybe a little wider stance here. You can really turn them. And then reverse your circle. The squeaky part of my floor. Good. And then coming back to center, we're going to do one more balance exercise. So standing to the chair on your left side, this is called the clock. So you're going to extend the right toes forward. I just keep my hand on my hip. So think 12 o'clock. Bring your leg to the side for 3 o'clock. Behind you for 6. So it's kind of all the movements that we've just done. Then come back to 3 and 12. Good. And again, you can keep a hand on the chair if you want to try it. Whoop, you can see it would be a challenge. Just take your time. Find your gazing point. Good, just stopping at those 12, 3, and 6. I guess that'd be 9, wouldn't it? 12, 9, and 6. Good. All right. And then bringing that right leg forward, go ahead and bring it back in, walk it out. And we'll try it on the other side. All right, shift the weight over to the right leg. And here, I guess this would be 9 on this side, wouldn't it? I was thinking I'm the opposite here. So there's the 9 and the 6. Good. Or I guess this is 6, 9, 12. There you go. Find your gazing point. Either way, you get what I'm doing, right? Good. So just going slow so you can control it. This is great for balance and your core. Good. And bring that leg forward. Good. And then slide it back in. Shake it out. And then we'll go ahead and have a seat. Again, if you want to grab a drink of water, make sure you have your strap or your belt nearby. I'm going to grab a drink. And then we're going to start with a back bend. I'm going to turn just so you can see what I'm doing here. So you'll want to walk your hips up to the edge of the chair so you've got some room behind you. And then bringing your hands behind your hips and just holding on to the chair. Depending on your chair, you know, maybe you have the legs here and you want to hold on to the legs, but just somewhere behind your hips, either resting them on the seat or the legs, so that you can, by bringing the arms back, you feel how you've opened up through the chest. And then with the inhale, we're going to lift the chest and the chin, looking up. Bring your shoulders down the back, just supporting the head so you don't have to just drop it back, but support it. And then coming back to that nice, even breathing. So you're bending from the mid-spine. Good. And then with your next inhale, lift the head and the chest. And then exhale and just take a moment, maybe close the eyes, just to kind of reestablish your equilibrium. And then walking the hips back about midway in the chair. And we're going to come into a twist. So 2 options here. Either you can just cross the right foot over the left, so crossing the ankles, or if you're okay to cross at the thigh, then we'll cross here. And then inhale to lengthen. Take the left hand. If you do have the thighs crossed, your hand will go on the left knee. If the ankles are crossed, then put it on the right. As you lengthen the spine, then exhale, turn, and look to the right. Good, and then release back to center, uncross, and we'll try it on the other side. Again, ankles, and then your right hand will go on the left knee, or crossing the thighs, right hand on the right knee. Inhale to lengthen, exhale, turn, and look to the left. Good, and then release back to center. Uncross that left leg, and then here's where you will need your strap. So now we're going to come into a hamstring stretch. Again, a great fascia stretch too by extending the leg. So we'll start with the right leg. Now I'm going to give you 2 options. You can walk those hips all the way back. If you have low back issues, then you'll want the chair to support your back. If your low back is okay, then you can sit in the middle of the chair, and then we're going to work on keeping that back nice and straight. All right, pick up that right foot. You'll place the strap or your belt across the ball of the right foot. And then as you extend your leg, just let the strap go with it. Then you'll walk your hands down. You're holding each end of the strap. Then here's where, even if you're back against the chair, pull those shoulders down the back, and you'll feel how that's going to pull your toes in, lengthening that hamstring. Focus on the back of the knee. That's where you should feel the stretch. Now, it's very important that you don't feel any discomfort or pain, and it doesn't matter how high your leg is. That's doesn't make any difference as long as you're feeling a nice stretch here. Good, and continue to breathe. Good, now bend your right knee. Use your strap, if you can, to pull your right foot up on your left thigh. If this is too much of an external rotation, then just bring it down and cross it on the thigh and open that right knee. If you're here, then we're going to take a moment here to stretch out through the hip. Good, and continue to breathe. And then go ahead and release that right leg. And then we'll try it on the left. Same thing. So picking up that left foot, placing the strap across the ball of the foot, and then holding on to each end of the strap, extending the arms, pulling the shoulders down the back, focusing on the back of the knee, getting a nice stretch in that hamstring. And breathing. Good, and then bending that knee and then coming back to either crossing the ankles again. If you do cross the ankles, you'll probably want to come up a little farther in the chair so you can open up that left knee, or crossing the left foot over the right thigh. And you can go ahead and put your strap down and just getting a nice stretch here in that left glute. Good, and then with your next inhale, lifting the torso. As you uncross, we'll widen the knees, walk your hips up towards the edge of the chair, and then we'll finish by getting a nice stretch on the inner thighs and into the hip. So placing the forearms on those inner thighs, inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, you're just kind of tipping forward. So the chest will come forward, the back stays straight. Press those forearms into the thighs till you feel a nice stretch. And then again, coming back to that even breathing. And just taking a few breaths. So feeling a nice stretch, again, no pain or discomfort, then, back off of what you're doing. Probably have just gone too far. So it's just learning where what we call the edge is. From getting a nice stretch to then going into more of a strain or pain. Good. All right, go ahead and lift the torso, walk those feet in. And then doing a little hip walk all the way to the back of the chair as we come into our final relaxation, or savasana. Again, extending the feet out a little bit in front of you, placing the hands in the lap. And closing the eyes. Turning the attention back to the breath. Notice the inhale. And notice the exhale. Feel the breath as it enters the nostrils and flows into the lungs. Focus on the rib cage as it expands with each inhale and contracts with each exhale. And then focus on the physical body. Relax all the muscles from the feet all the way up to the crown of the head. Release any tension or tightness. And then focus on the mind. Release any thoughts, worries, or anxieties. With your next inhale, think the word so. And with the exhale, think the word hum, which means I am. Or use any other words or phrase that has meaning to you. And allow yourself just a few moments to completely let go. Begin to deepen your breath. And then start moving the fingers and toes. And then the wrists. The ankles, and slowly bending one knee, and then the other. And keeping the body relaxed and the eyes closed for another moment, focus on the intention that you set at the beginning of the practice. And then we'll take one more deep cleansing breath. So take a nice big inhale and exhale it all out. And then go ahead and lift your head and open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.